Hi, today I'm going to show you how to put in your piece that you've just recently purchased or that was given to you. As you can see here, this is a twisted piece, and I'm going to give you some tips and some tricks of how I put this in for myself. Now, as with anything, these are just some ideas that I would like to share with you. At the end of the day, what you're really going to need to do is find those things that really do work best for you. So before we start, I'm going to give you an idea of all the things that I use. And like I said, by no means do you have to go out and buy these things, but they do help with the process. One of the first things you're going to need is a hair tie. I like to use this type of hair tie, and actually it's two, and I put them together. Okay, so you definitely need something to put your hair in a bun in this particular process. I also like to use two different types of brushes. I have a brush that has a softer bristle, and this allows for smoothness. And then I have a brush that I use that is a little bit harder in the bristling because in this process I do flat iron my hair, and I'm going to show you that in a moment, but I don't flat iron my entire head. So some parts of my hair, especially in the crown and in the back, are still a little natural. So what I have to do is have a harder bristle to get through to the depth of my hair to be able to bring it up in the ponytail that I'm going to eventually do. So I have two different types of brushes. Also, in flat ironing my hair, let me explain, you do not have to flat iron your edges. I tend to because it gives my final look, it looks a lot smoother and a lot sleeker, but you do not have to do that. But if you do flat iron your hair, I would suggest, of course, using a heat protectant. I have used two that I really enjoy. I use this heat protectant, and what I like about it is that it's a cream, and it allows me to be able to put the heat protectant, directly in a particular place. But I also have used this, and I bought it as a sample, and it was great. And of course, you spray it, and then you go on and use your flat iron. You'll need a comb with wide teeth, anything that works for you. Also, you will need hairpins. I prefer hairpins and not bobby pins, but if that is your thing, please by all means use a bobby pin. But I do like hairpins and the larger ones. You will also need a gel. I use a Jam Extra Hold, and I think I found this at the dollar store. Really, I do, but I don't remember. But I tend to find with the type of natural hair that I have, when I straighten my hair, hairsprays tend to not work because they are so water-based that when I spray it on my straightened hair, it waves it back up. So I tend to deal with gels and jams when it comes to, well, not even gels. Let me restate that. I like the jam because of the consistency, and it allows, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it allows for a smoothness without waving up my hair. And finally, you will need your flat iron if that's what you're going to do, straightening your hair. Now, I have already straightened my hair, and around the edges, as you can see, it's a little straighter. And in the back, I've already done that to save on time. Okay, so now I don't tend to straighten the back as deeply as I do the front because I tend to gel the back a little bit more than I do my front, and that makes it easier to brush up without having to put all that heat on the back of my hair. All right, so now that I have gotten it straightened, and it's looking a little crazy right now because in the crown and toward the back, you can see it's really not straightened, but I have straightened this part. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get the brush that is of the harder bristles, and I'm going to comb or brush my hair up into a bun. Now, the key here is how high do you want your piece to go? I tend to like mine on the top of my head, but you may want your piece near the back, and if that's the case, then you're going to set your bun further back. Does that make sense? All right. So now I'm feeling, and you will also, that this natural part, I still am going to have to do a little bit more brushing because it is a little more dense. So I've gotten the brush with the harder bristles. Now, as you can see, you have the straightness because you flat iron that area. And that's what I like. You do not have to do that, please. So now that I have everything ready to go for the bun, I get my hair ties and I go on and make my bun at the top. Now in making your bun, you want to bring it through maybe 1 or 2 times, but that final time, you do not want to bring it all the way through. You want to stop. And then have like a little bun on top of your head. Okay, got it? Does not have to be neat. Now here comes the part where I tend to put in the gel because that works best for me. Now it doesn't have to be that way for you. So I get a little bit of my gel. And at this time, this is where I put it on my edges, smooth it. And this is where I get the back with the brush that has the harder bristles. Because the back I did not flat iron as hard as the top and the sides. So I go on and use the one that's a harder bristle and brush that up. So now it's smooth. Okay. Now I tend to get the one that is of the softer, and I will brush my front. Because as you know, you have different hair in the front and in the back and in the middle. It's all different. Okay. So now that you've got your bun, you can get one of your hairpins and kind of tack it down just a little if you want to. It's up to you. This one is a little bit bigger than I want, but that's okay. So I've tacked it down. So now what you have is your bun. And depending on how you want it to be, you can set it high here on the top. You can put it here toward the back, depending on how you want your fall to go. So now that you've got your bun, it's pretty straightened and it's like the way you like it. You're going to open up your piece and you see it has this here, a little toggle. Okay, mine is already there because I had it on yesterday. But you're going to pull, if it's at this point, just pull it down a little bit and just open it up. So now you have it open. Now, since my bun is a little big, and that's okay, you're going to place this directly over your bun. Now, what you will also note is that there are little combs. Okay. I tend to not put the combs directly into my hair because what I found is that when I pull this toggle tighter, the combs tend to dig into my scalp. So I tend not to really put this into my scalp, like here. I may put it on near where that hair tie is, or even sometimes I put it directly in the bun. It just depends on what works for you because this always rubs my scalp and it doesn't make it good for me. All right, so then what I do is I take this and I have it like this. And this works for me. It doesn't necessarily have to be the way you put it on. This is just what I do. So then I flip it and I put piece on top of my bun. I just cover the whole thing. Okay, so it's covered. All right, so now you can hold it and make sure that it's in place. Now remember, I have not used the little teeth, the combs, because they tend to hurt. So I just have it sitting here on top of my bun. Now what I'm going to have to do now is lean back. I found this helps because when you go to try to pull that toggle piece without leaning back, the braids get in the way. Okay, so I have this here. I lean back, kind of keeping that on my head as much as I can. And then I pull where that toggle is. So it's in the back. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm pulling it to make it as tight as possible. And that's one of the reasons why I don't use the comb, because when I do that toggle in the back and pull it really, really tight, I don't necessarily have to have the comb. So then you have your piece that you've been pulling. And what I do is just wrap it. Again, I lean back to get those braids out of the way. And I just wrap this around till it stops. And I take a hairpin because it is stopped like right there. And I just put that hairpin, or if you want to use a bobby pin, that's fine. And I just stick it in there to hold that piece so it won't come out. That makes sense? So, and there I have this piece on, not quite finished. So what I do at this point is take usually 1 or 2 of the braids. It really doesn't matter. 1 or 2. I'm going to take 2. And then I wrap them around. Lean back to get those braids out of the way. Lean back. And I wrap these around to kind of hide. See what I've done? Wrap those around. Then you're going to come to the end. And again, I get a hairpin. Or if you want to use a bobby pin, you can do that. Either one, whatever works for you. I like hairpins. Okay. Then I stick that where that piece ends so it doesn't come out. So there you have it. And then you have your piece. So you can bring it to the side, however you would like to do that. And that's that. So if you want it higher up, of course, you can put your bun higher and then you will have it sitting higher. Or you can put it back further to have them flow further down. Now, the reason why I put mine where I did, because many times I tend not to wear it this way, what I do is put it into a bun. There's several ways that you can do a bun. And what I have found works best for me, turning it to the side, turn a little to the side, take them apart and make it into 2. And then I twist, just a really light twist, all the way down. And little piece sticking out there. Then what I do is hold this here to kind of get it stabilized. And sometimes the pieces will fall out and you're just going to have to play with it a little bit. Bring this around, kind of holding them all together, kind of pull a little bit. And then where you have that last piece of hair, that's why I like to use the hairpins, because they tend to be able to open up and grab more of the pieces of hair. And like I said, you'll have some little stragglers that won't go all the way around. And that's when you pull them through, tuck them under, get your hairpin, stick it in. So there. And now you have a bun. And that only took a few hairpins, only for sake of time. But you would use several to kind of stabilize it and to be able to make sure that you can feel safe when you're walking. It's not going to come off. So one more style I'm going to show you. I'm going to take these 2 out. Okay. Also, what I do is sometimes I'll separate them out and have a 2 bun look. So I'll do the same thing. But with 1 at a time. So then I have this one. And you might not really be able to see the difference too much, but hopefully you can. And again, I do the same thing. So I have the 1. Okay. So then I do the same thing and I twist it. And you see you have the little struggling piece? That's okay, because you'll be able to tuck it and hide it. So I twist this all the way down. And I come across. And probably what you can't see as much, but it gives your bun a different look. And I'll try to, so I'll put that there. And of course I would put more pieces in And of course, you would always want to smooth that. And this. So what this has done, it's given it a little bit more depth, a little bit more height, a little bit more dimension. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit different than the other one. So those are the two ways that you can make a bun. And if you really want to get creative, and I have done this in the past, and I won't be able to show you. Maybe I'll do it in another video. But I have actually taken it and divided into fourths. And sometimes I'll just twist it. I don't necessarily do the two. I'll just twist. And then go on and lay that one down. Stick your bobby pins in. Okay. Then I'll take this one. Well, I guess I'll go on and show you since I'm doing it. But I'll do the same thing. And just twist it to the end as much as you can. And I will wrap this one near the back. And like I said, there is no right way to do this. Just what works for you. Then I get my hairpins and I stick them in as needed so that they can be secure. So, and you're always going to have that little straggler piece. You can just always stick them in there. And then once you find a place for him to go, always stick a hairpin in there to hold him down so he won't come out. So then I go to the other side. Take about four. Take two, I'm sorry. I'm putting it into four. Twist this around like I did over here on this side. And then just bring this around. And it'll try to do its own thing, but you got to hold it down. Okay. Stick them in there. No rhyme or reason to the bobby pins. Just stick them in there so that there is some security. This will try to come out sometimes. So that's why I really like hairpins, because they allow you to get more control over your hair or your piece. And like, see how that's trying to do all that craziness? So what I do is just take a hairpin, stick it down in there. Oh, see that piece right there? Stick them in there. Stick this right there. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3. So you've got your final one in the back. And you do the same thing. Just take, twist. Twist him, and then just put him somewhere in there like that. I don't know if you can see. Tuck him in there. Then get your hairpins. And go on and get them in there. However that works. Because they are going to want to come out and do their own thing because they are so long. All right. And there's this one right here. Let me get this right here. See, they will do that. So what you do is going to get him somewhere, settle him down, get you another hairpin, and just stick that hairpin in place. So now you have 4. And however you want to make that look in the back. Now, I just did that and just put it up. Of course, I would do it a little bit better and it would look a little bit better, but I hadn't planned on doing this. And plus, I'm looking at the camera and I'm not looking in the mirror as I do this. So it makes it kind of weird. And of course, with anything, you can always add embellishments. You can add flowers, anything of that nature. And I do have something I'm going to add. Hold on. All right, so this. So you've got your 4 pieces, your 4 buns, and then you can add your embellishment, and you're good to go. So those are just some ideas that I have that I hope will help you get started in using your fall or your bun. Do it. You can make it into 2. You can put it into 4. You can use it as 1. You can let them hang down. It is so very versatile. But I hope this helped you. And if it did, please let me know in the comments below. Have a great day and be blessed.